meeting to order at 7:01. Who is my secretary this evening? Do I have a secretary this evening?
I'm carrying a proxy.
Okay. Will you go ahead and take attendance, please?
Give me 30 seconds, please.
Sure. The laptops look really good on camera right now, by the way, with all your stickers, Jim, and then the base sticker on Justin's. We look so cool right now.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry for being cool.
Oh no, my hat was on backwards, so you couldn't see the front, which is an important part.
Something America.
Again.
Oh God. Really? Okay.
You know, in the short time that Tim is getting ready, there was a report that came out that showed that the Chinese were using birds as little robots to spy on people. So even the birds aren't real conspiracy is true
No.
now.
Yeah, more like 100 at this point.
It's
Right.
going to be a good time at the next Birds Aren't Real convention.
I apologize for the delay. I'm prepared to take notes at this time, and also to take attendance. Chair Goodman.
Present.
Vice Chair Luria.
Here.
Treasurer Buss.
Yeah, here.
Affiliates Director is here. Outreach Directors, thank you.
Present.
Legislative Director Vance.
Here.
Campaigns Director Wild Forster. Absent.
I think he'll jump on in a few minutes.
Okay.
But if he does, mark it, but don't otherwise.
Okay. Communications Director Marinovich.
Here.
Membership Director Williams. Fundraising Director DeVark.
Here.
We have 9 present, 2 absent, and quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So normally I have my camera on, but as my computer for some reason doesn't run Teams at all, which has been why I've been unable to do board meetings. We did get my phone to do it, but it's too much. The camera and my phone and doing the agenda on my phone, it's a whole mess. So unfortunately my camera's not on, which is fine because then I can have my girl dinner in my pajamas and chair the meeting from bed. So here we are. Anyway, going forward, now we'll open the floor for public comment. Mr. Atwood, I know that you've got some wonderful things to tell us.
Yes, the legislative dinner was absolutely wonderful. Thank you. And we're working on the approval voting message and the hand signals for it. Currently, we have for approval voting, vote for one, vote for some, or vote for all but one. And we're looking forward to somebody researching pirate crews in the Aegean and the North Sea and establishing how much I'm lying or not. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for attending our legislative dinner and getting a sponsorship table. You guys being there made it so much more fun. So we had just as much fun as you guys did, and I was glad that the approval voting party could be represented. And I hope that you made some great connections that night. It was a really great night. Is there any further public comment? All right.
Actually, I'll do a couple quick ones just on the Young Americans for Liberty side for announcements. We had the Lily Tang Williams event that went super well. Blake Huber shouted us out instead of the approval voting party. So
No harm.
incredible.
No harm done. Building coalitions. We
Yeah,
appreciate
exactly.
that.
That's what we're doing. And hey, I like approval voting conceptually. We also had our convention this past weekend. Lily was a speaker there, and I did get in contact with her. I know that her son plans to help down in Springs with the El Paso County affiliate. Maybe that's more of an affiliate's role, but whatever. And she'll hopefully come back soon. We had a few people go, including Ashley and Ross, who may be on the call on one, but they got some great training. We had a really good event, all had a good time. I think it went pretty well, yeah, that's I think what's important for us right now.
I did meet someone from Threshold Strategies. They're a more conservative, like canvassing, door knocking group. But I was telling her about Senate Bill 3, and she was appalled, to say the least. And I've sent her our last, the legislative, the pledges that we would give politicians in Colorado, and she's looking those over. So she might be interested in helping us out in the future with being on the ground.
Oh, excellent.
And as a little note, all the pressure I've been putting on for, getting support with Young Americans for Liberty is paying off. They're seeing, I was getting told from some of the higher ups that they're seeing Colorado as not as much of a lost cause now. And I know that I'm talking to our regional director and trying to get him to come to our annual convention. And there's a chance that he does. If the weekend's free, he will. And that'd be really great. If we can get that support, that'll mean a lot.
Excellent. I love that we have a nice coalition going with our organization and Young Americans for Liberty. It's a nice little funnel to get more youth involved. I'm not like the lame old people. I'm like a cool old people. I want the kids.
The kids know you based.
Not in a weird way either.
I've got a public comment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to be running for chair of the Libertarian Party of Colorado at the May 31st convention, and I'd appreciate everybody's support and vote during that period of time. If you'd like to see me as the Tsar here in Colorado, I definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Are you going to speak about your running mate?
Yes, I'm endorsed by current chair Hannah Goodman, and also joined in the ticket by said current chair Hannah Goodman, who will be my vice chair.
That'll be a fun change of roles. Probably for you more than me, but anyhow. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's see. All right. So let's go.
Chair?
Pardon?
Never mind. I was teasing you. I said you're not looking forward to not having to deal with chair.
Yeah, I decided I don't like public roles. Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm much too shy. I don't actually have the personality for it. So with that, the approval of the agenda. Let's see. I want to make sure. Okay, we do already have the things that we needed. Okay. Is there any additions to the agenda?
I have some additions. I don't know if they should just be handled though in new business or not.
They are put on the agenda actually.
Oh,
under
okay,
business.
great, perfect. I missed that.
That's fine. I appreciate that. I was like, wait, where are we? Okay. So, are there any objections to the agenda as it stands? All right, hearing none, the agenda is approved. We are behind on our minutes. So we've been working diligently to get them all squared away. They are currently in progress. They should be sent to all the missing meetings. I think we're 3 months behind. Anyway, with that, we are going to have all 3 sets of minutes emailed to you directors. Then we're going to just pass them by email ballot. We wanted to have them finished, even if they had been finished by the board meeting. I wouldn't have felt comfortable passing them without review. So I want to be able to just give you guys a day or two to review. Then we'll get a motion made and an email ballot created. We can pass those minutes and get all caught up before convention. So, is there any county affiliate representation tonight that wishes to speak on behalf of their county affiliate? No? All right. Moving on. I don't have any LNC representatives here tonight. Board reports. All right, great. So, for myself, I dedicated over this past month. Wow. So I drove about 12 hours this past month, coming back and forth to the Front Range. As you all know, it's a bit of a drive for me. With that, I testified. I spent some time at the Capitol twice this past month. I testified on 7 bills. Let's see. I came up for the legislative dinner, which was a huge success. That was amazing. And we had a really good turnout. We made a good profit there. I stayed through that week to meet with legislators. I attended the South Metro Republican Breakfast, where I was able to network with Lily Tang Williams, who recognized me, actually. That was fun that she recognized me. And I did a lot of networking with people running for office as well as elected officials in that room. I attended court. We had a ongoing case for over a year. Actually, I inherited the case when I became chair. We had a defamation case for a censure or something that we passed when I was vice chair. So that case was dismissed. We were scheduled for a 2-day trial. We got through the majority of the first day, and the judge dismissed it because of the statute of limitations. It just was unable, for that reason, to be even heard in trial. So the judgment was that we would each pay our own attorney fees. I believe that we're going to be motioning to reconsider that so we can try and recoup some of our membership's money. You know, I don't think that the judge really took into account that we're a third party. We don't have a ton of money, and our membership had to pay the cost of that frivolous lawsuit. I believe that we're also going to
Allegedly frivolous.
Oh, okay. Allegedly frivolous. Thank you. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the ins and outs of these things. Believe it or not, I believe that we are going to be looking to countersue. And I think I'll have Mr. Wiley speak to that here going forward. So with that, that's my board report. Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. Probably the biggest thing is the 2A event with Lily Tang Williams. That went very, very well for us. We ended up being the second main sponsor outside of Spartan Defense. Got to shoot a super cool hot pink Uzi, fully automatic. So that was well worth my time. Yeah, so I think we are. The Republican Party didn't really show up at all. Representative Armstrong did, but that was about it. So I don't know where that exactly puts us, but we are definitely more in with the 2A activist community probably than the Republican Party is right now. So, and Alicia Garcia does a great job of building a coalition. And then Hannah and I also had a great interaction with Representative Caldwell. After Michael Vance and Brandon were bullying him online, he sought us out in the Capitol and asked us to remove our attack dogs. So that was very, very well done. We handled that well, made some headway with him, and looking at possibly a red light ban bill come next session. That's probably the two major things.
Quick clarification. When did I attack? I'm just kind of curious when I attacked Caldwell.
I think it was the social
Well,
media bill, the reporting, right, Hannah, for the social media?
yeah, something like that. And I guess it was, so you get lumped in with Free State Colorado because the live stream. So they talk about you, they're talking about Brandon. If they talk about Brandon, they're talking about you.
But
That's good
Woo,
to know.
I think,
woo.
Michael, you retweeted something that Brandon posted going
Yeah.
after all those people. So,
And Woog
Ah,
also
gotcha.
talked to us. We had to smooth that out. There was also a vote from Kelty. I want this kind of on the record, which is why I'm sorry, just to hijack your time.
you're good.
Um, Kelty made a bad vote for the Cora bill, where it was like reducing the transparency of Cora and access. Um, I spoke with her because that was a tenant on the pledge that she signed. That was a miss vote. She has a list she works from every day when she's on the House floor doing floor work. She switched 2 votes. So on a vote she was supposed to vote yes, she voted no. On a bill she was supposed to vote no, she voted yes. She deeply apologized. She was very embarrassed. I'm glad that's all that was, because having a pledge signer in such a contentious race, I wouldn't be able to keep libertarians out of that race, and we should definitely run if our legislators who have signed the pledge aren't going to uphold it. But she was very apologetic. She immediately knew she cast the wrong vote, but it's permanent. You can't change it. So that also happened. I just wanted the membership to know. Do you have anything further to add to your report, Mr. Luria?
There is planning for May 17th. We're going to do a donor dinner for our biggest donors in the LPCO right before convention.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Buss, let's hear about the world of treasurer.
The boring world of treasurer. So currently in our general account, we have $12,000 and $12,008.06. And in our federal account, we have $35,001.47. We received $24,806.91 from the joint fundraising agreement, and then we sent on $22,326.22 to the Libertarian Party, or the LNC in Washington, D.C. Today I filed our Secretary of State filing, and that went through. I found a little trick out of ISP that we can download the XML file, and I can just go in there and manually remove the incorrect entries that he's putting, and then put it onto the Secretary of State's site, and it just gobbled it up and said we were fine. And I clicked the report button, and it said we were successful. So I was really, really pleased about that. I'm still having some difficulties with the FEC filings, and the fact that I cannot get on the FEC website, and they won't. It requires the prior treasurer to get on, sign in, activate me to be able to use it, and then create the credentials for me so that I can actually file our report. So at the moment, I'm relying on James Williams to file our report. So I've sent him all the information that is required to file a report. But hopefully we get that resolved pretty quick, because it's getting more and more stressful.
Yes, definitely. We've got an item on the agenda to deal with that. So thank you for that clarification about the issues with being able to file with the FEC, and that basically your hands are tied and I can't do anything for the FEC. They don't allow me as the chair to do anything. But that's the federal government. It totally makes sense if you don't think about it. God knows they don't think about it. So here we are. Jim, do you have any updates from our secretary?
I was not sent with a report.
No worries. And we are working on those minutes, so those will be coming this week. We will get caught up with our lives. Knock on wood. Affiliates, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah. So as of last week, I got together because of the dinner. Actually, the legislative dinner. I met Eric Joss, and he's interested in being on the board for a Weld County affiliate. So I have that group chat created. I'm going to draft the charter as soon as I get time, which will be shortly, hopefully. Physics and calculus are stupid classes, but once I'll be drafting that charter, and we'll have a Weld County affiliate. And in Pueblo, I have a guy who seems to be ghosting me, but was potentially interested in being secretary for our Young Americans for Liberty chapter. And of course, once we have a Young Americans for Liberty chapter board, I can create an affiliate board there as well. So that'll be another affiliate to reform in that case. And that'll be, actually, I do have Zach for that, so I only really need one more. I don't even need the full board for that, so that's even better. Because I assume he'd be willing to join.
Sorry to interject. Are you talking to Russ?
Ross?
Russ Daniels.
No.
I'll put.
Is he in Pueblo? Okay. If I have those two, then maybe we could form that right now. You know what I mean. That's good to know. Thank you. So yeah, sounds like we may have a Pueblo affiliate for the next meeting. That'd be great. So I think that's the main affiliates update. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, and maybe this is the wrong time, but sorry. We do have the National Convention for Young Americans for Liberty is probably going to be the 1st through the 3rd. A lot of the training we just did is really good. I was discussing with Phil, Ross, and Ashley how ways to implement the stuff we were already doing. There will be way more at the bigger convention, and it'll probably be in Austin or Dallas. It's not formally announced, just kind of the insider track is that it's probably the 1st through 3rd of August. So we all want to prep for that, all want to go. The show that we made already impressed them, and a number of members we've had joining and people, and what our Liberty Pledge has accomplished. I mean, the Liberty Pledge has really impressed them. So if we can show up really well and implement some of those tactics, that'd be good. Just something else for that. But yeah, those two affiliates will hopefully form shortly. That's about most of what I have there. And of course, I'll be attending the El Paso County affiliate. I've heard that Arapahoe's been meeting sometimes, but I hear scattered reports about when, where, whatever. I definitely want whoever's the chair there to just be giving me a regular update on that so I can attend when possible.
Okay, good. I was going to bring that to your attention. Also, I think Dallas or Austin is way more doable. I could go for Dallas. The fashion there is, for me, perfect.
I grew up
of course,
there. How you run.
No. I would just go to shop. Not really shop, but window shop, and attend the convention. Now the Arapahoe County just had their convention. It was my understanding no one was rerunning. I have not received an update from that convention. I don't know that there even is a board anymore. So I'll get with you and Jim on this side and we can kind of figure that out over this week. So yeah, because
I'd like to join the Arapahoe County affiliate, so.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Are you in Arapahoe County?
I'm in Arapahoe County. I'm right next to the county buildings, actually.
Ashley, would you be able to join that board as well?
Yeah, if I needed to, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. So if we have you two, I assume could Joe still be? Or
I'm approval voting. I'm registered approval voting.
Lame. Wait, Phil, are you in Arapahoe?
I am, but I mean, I don't know where I'm going to be living in like a month.
We could do it for the month. We'll take it for as long as you're in Colorado. Shoot, was there any? Is Joe still eligible, or is he GOP now?
He is currently eligible, but after convention will go back to GOP. And he's the former Arapahoe chair. I'm going to say he's going to say no because he ended his chairmanship not in a negative way, but and not really bad blood. But I'm going to just say he'll say no. I would be surprised if he said yes. So I guess we'll figure that situation out.
I kind of try to press him, but he's sometimes goofy to get a hold of and very busy these days. But Lucas Baumgartner lives there now, and he absolutely should be. So I'll try to get him in on it if I can as well.
Okay.
Anyone else? Is there anyone else who's Arapaho here who could take that on temporarily?
Well, all we have to do is to get Joe on is to get one of those faggot signs that you pull out of the jacket, and he'll join immediately.
You're right. Actually, that is his weakness.
It is. It is.
Oh man.
I'll get it made.
Is Mr. Wild Forester on the call? That's okay. I know he was having child issues. It happens to the best of us. Mr. Marinovich, communications report.
Yes. We, in a previous month, had upgraded our X account to an organizational account, and with that came 2,700 or something like that amount of free ad credit. So you got more ad credit than the cost of going on an organization. So we deployed some of that to promote the legislative dinner. There was one smaller campaign that occurred that got 1,000 impressions for $30. But then we launched another one that got almost 15,000 impressions for $171. So that was a cost of $11.50 per impression. And let's see, the engagement rate, we got 68 total engagements out of that, which resulted in a half of a percent engagement rate. So that means that somebody clicked on that link to buy a ticket. So we got 68 people out of the 15,000 to click. So I assume some of those that clicked on it were ones that bought tickets. So I think overall, for how many total tickets were there available? Does anyone know?
I am not sure. I know we sold out though.
Well, either way, even if there was 100 tickets available, 68 people. I'm not saying they all came from there, but the ratio of available tickets to people that click through to the website is pretty good. And I limited it to the Colorado areas who could be geographically sent there, and yeah, I think overall it was a good investment. And we currently have, it's loading now. Let me see.
I think it was more than 60, but less than 100, somewhere in there. For ballpark.
Yeah, so we have just under $2,500 left in our ad credits. So quite a bit more that we can use to promote other things. So overall, I think it was a success. We learned some things, and yeah, other than that, just been reposting fire memes from Instagram onto the X account. Otherwise, that's it.
All right, great. Let's see. Fundraising, Mr. Dvorak. Is that how you say your last name?
Dvork. The A is silent.
What?
Yeah.
You dang Slavs.
Right, so I just don't really correct people unless they ask.
I have spent countless hours with this man and discovered this just now. So.
You don't even know who he is at this point now. He's a stranger to you.
Yeah, no, unless somebody asks, I'm not going to say anything. So I need to get with Jim, and so I can get in contact with everybody that came to the dinner and invite them out to our convention. And call all of the people that we want to have come for that next dinner that's coming up, the donor dinner. But that's 100% my fault. I've just been too busy and sleeping too few hours to be able to do it. But the next few weeks should be better. I should have a lot more time.
Okay.
But that's going to be my main focus, just getting ready for the convention and all of that, calling everyone.
Excellent. Great. I'm glad to hear it. And the donor dinner will be an easy sell because if you're a donor, and we've got, some big donors in the room right now, you'll just be invited and it won't cost you anything. So who wants a free meal? Like, no one's going to turn you down for that. So that should be easy. Convention may be a little more tricky, but you've done excellent work up until this point. So I know you'll do well going forward. Mr. Vance, give us a legislative director update, please.
All right. So the last month, we've interviewed a series of legislators. I'll just go through the numbers real quick. Week 11, we talked to Rep. Scott Bottoms, had a fantastic conversation about him being a pastor as well as a legislator and how those roles work hand in hand, as well as the way he's able to as well as his ability to deal with time management, because being I know from personal experience that not all that personal experience, but being around a lot of pastors, that's more than a full-time job on its own, let alone being a legislator. That's also more than a full-time job on its own. So that tracked at 463 views. The next week after we had a good conversation about gun rights with Rep. Ryan Arbogast, and then immediately after he attacked RMGO. The week after that, we had a good conversation with Rep. Carlos Barone, talked about oil and gas and what's going on at the legislature. That's currently sitting at 618 views. Then a week ago, we just talked with Rep. Ken DeGraff and Natalie Minton about gun rights and what's going on with this psychotic legislation where they're trying to trans our kids and try find multiple ways to compel our speech. That's currently sitting at 795 views, and last night's live stream was really good as well. We talked to parental rights activist Aaron Lee as well as Rep. Brandy Bradley. The first half hour was with just Aaron Lee alone. The second half hour we talked with both Rep. Brandy Bradley and Aaron Lee. That's currently sitting at 618 views after 20 hours of being live. So fantastic time last night. And it's really great to see the progress, because if you look at our streams from a year ago, we're currently sitting at week 14 was 89 views, week 15 119 views, week 16 72 views. We didn't get anywhere near the numbers that we got a year ago. A year ago, we weren't getting nearly the numbers that we're currently getting now. It's really fantastic to see what's going on. We're really getting the message out, and it's also helping. It's helping Brandon's channel grow. Brandon's channel is currently sitting at 5.92K subscribers. So we're seeing a lot of progress that we're making to really spread the word, and it's been pretty fantastic to see. Last week, I was able to go to testify on 2 different bills. I know I was able to testify on Senate Bill 3. We went and testified on the egg bill as well. So it's nice to be able to get down to the Capitol and actually get the libertarian message out and call these senators out, and representatives out for their terrible bills, and then support the good bills when we can, which is really rare to come by. So.
Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you for your work. Yeah, I'm really excited by your work and the impact that it's actually making. Legislators are listening to our voice. They see us as both an ally, but also a pressure to do well. So it's really important work that we're doing. And I would say our legislative program is the thing that this party currently does the absolute best. And actually, it's the most important because these things affect our daily lives. So your work is really, really important. So thanks for all the time that you dedicate to it.
Well, I really appreciate that. I also spoke I should also mention that I spoke at the legislative dinner as well, and I was at the 2A event, and those were both a lot of fun. And Hannah, I appreciate those words because it's very rewarding to do this work for you guys.
Yes. When I've been at the Capitol, I've had people go over and show me lists of votes and see what I think about it. And I'm not nearly well versed as you are. And so I'm like, I wish that this was Michael Vance we were asking, not me. But I get through it. I just like rock it. I'm like, what's the libertarian position? All right, I'm going to go with that. But we're actually being actively asked our opinion on votes by legislators, right? If that's not power, I don't know what is. So I think it's really important, and I'm really excited to see this is something that we can do well and people are really excited about. So it's been really fun.
Absolutely. We're building something fantastic here, and it's only going to go up from there.
Yeah. Moving on to outreach. Miss Steinke.
Pretty standard month for me. Went to a lot of Liberty on the Rocks. Attended both the 2A, the Lily Tang Williams event, and the Legislative Action Dinner, both of which were fantastic events and profitable, which is saying something. That was really incredible. And of course, attending all of the board meetings and everything, and continue to help out with all of that stuff. So pretty standard week or month for me, rather.
Good. Excellent. You've definitely been busy. It's been great to see you every time I've been able to come to Denver this month. So yeah, you've been out and about doing your thing. Moving to staff reports. Mr. Wiley.
Yes, thank you. Most of what I have to report has already been touched on. A legislative dinner, nice pilot project there. Definitely want to repeat that in the future. We've got different format models that we're going to be piloting also for a fundraising effort, so I'm excited about that. The donor dinner. Leading up to convention, we've got announcements to make and other communications to send out. We're organizing details related to tickets and food and sponsorships, tables, vendors, other things like that. And so you'll be receiving communications relative to those elements shortly. We have been engaged in contentious litigation, which I'm grateful for Hannah's update on. I definitely want to emphasize and give a shout out to our excellent legal representation, Gary Fielder, Esquire, the greatest civil rights attorney I've ever met, and definitely an advocate for our position, who did an excellent job there. And expanding on a request that Hannah Goodman you made a minute ago related to this report, we are considering a counterclaims abuse of process suit against Patty. There's no secret sauce I'm spilling necessarily by mentioning that. It's just the reality of the claims that she brought forward are allegedly frivolous. There's no other way to put it. And her attorneys should have informed her of the alleged frivolity of her pursuit, and discouraged her from filing suit in the first place. And they didn't, and she did. And so we had to do that whole very, very, very expensive dance once again, which that should be discouraged by the court system. So we have a duty as the party to present the courts with a just case for the discouragement of presentation of frivolous defamation lawsuits against political parties. So looking forward to doing that shortly. Who else do I want to sue? I've got a list, but I'm not prepared to share all of that right now. That's the end of my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Also, excellent work on the planning and the execution of the legislative dinner. That was your brainchild and your baby. That was a hugely successful fundraiser, and your work is really appreciated. You really you really grease the wheels and the cogs and keep this machine running really smoothly. So I've really valued you as an executive director. You've provided immense value for this organization. I cannot stress that enough. And your ability to find ways to make money for this party has been excellent. Because we all know, it's not blood, it's actually money that greases the wheels of politics. So thank you very much for that. Mr. Aiken, do you have anything to update us with?
No, I don't.
I hope that you're feeling well.
Well, I'm still dealing with my stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Mr. Savoy, thank you for being here tonight, supporting us with technology.
Magic.
Yeah, it is. To me, I'm like, it is complete magic.
No, nothing to report.
All right, so political and marketing committee. While we had the legislative dinner, we marketed that, kind of looking to figure out where to spend the rest of our ad credit on Twitter. I'm thinking either supporting and advertising the legislative live stream or our convention or things like that. Also, to update this may or may not fall under the committee. We put out the call to convention today. It should be up on the website. Mr. Loria has ordered the cards. They should be delivered. They were supposed to be delivered last week, but they should be delivered today, tomorrow, or the next day so that we're hitting all of our timelines with that. So that's pretty much underway, should be good to go. Party Finance Committee, Mr. Loria, how's that going?
So one, Hannah, thank you for catching that because I was going to go back and talk about the convention postcards. Two, there are things being figured out with the FEC right now. There's just some difficulty in transferring as they have James Williams on as the treasurer. So we're trying to get that updated and fix some reports because national, I don't know if it's one report or a few, but there's some error with the joint fundraising committee that obviously we were a part of. So we want to go back and make sure everything is all set. The auditing committee is going to help us, and there'll be some motions made for that. And Ashley can speak to this to the exact numbers, but Ashley, is there $36,000 in our federal account and about 12 grand in our state account?
Yeah, it's $35,001.47 in our federal account and $12,008.06 in our general account.
Great. And I don't know if Mr. Wiley mentioned it because my phone was kind of breaking up, but I think we made at least probably $8,000 on the legislative dinner, and it was a great. Say that again.
Closer to 10.
Closer to 10. Fantastic. And the leader of the Log Cabin Republicans said that the Libertarians do a great job of bringing people together and remind them what they have in common. So I think the legislative dinner definitely showed that for sure. Even though I wasn't there, I heard it was really fantastic.
You were there in spirit, and we missed you.
Thank you. I think that covers Ashley. I know technically you're the treasurer, so is there anything that I'm missing here that needs to be publicly stated?
No, I know in new business we can have a couple of motions, but no, you hit the nail on the head.
Great, thank you.
We don't have Miss Spink here for the audit committee, but they don't usually come anyway. We have no special orders. We have no unfinished business. Now we get to the whole heart of the reason why we have a board meeting, new business. So the first order is, or not order, but 13.1 is the motion to get business cards. I'm not sure who added this to the agenda.
That was me.
Oh, okay. Would you like to speak to it?
Yes, basically, we've been doing a lot of networking recently, and I think we need business cards. I also recognize that we are at the end of for lack of a term, board term for a lot of people. So we're going to see, and with the upcoming convention, we're going to see some changes on the board. That's just something that's natural for every single organization. But in the meantime, I'm thinking some of us might need some sort of business cards so that way we can get our names out there and so that way we can help induce networking. So I don't necessarily know the best way to do that because we're kind of in a little bit of a, tight between a rock and a hard place, so to speak, just because, we're close to convention.
Who do you think would be the best for having a little bit of business cards? Nothing, no, not a huge order.
Yeah.
Or I think you're down at the Capitol and we've got the rest of the session. Even if you're not put in legislative again, which I don't know, is your term up or how's that work?
My term's not up until the end of next year.
Okay, so I think it makes sense for you to have some cards so that when you're at the Capitol or you're in different events, you can network legislative, because that's really what the focus is right now. So I think getting, a set of cards for you, I don't know.
Madam Chair.
I don't think.
If I
Yes,
may,
Mr.
I think people who we recently expect won't be changing office following the convention would be viable candidates to receive business cards at this time. Plus, we want to do like a trial print, do 50 or 100, and if we really like the printer, then we'll go back to them after the convention and get some more business cards made. But I think Michael Vance, given the fact that you're not changing office, and then I think another person who there's no way in the world that they would not be treasurer after May, Ashley Buss.
Oh,
She
God.
also have some business cards.
Oh, you gonna inherit the mess again? Yay!
Oh, God.
Okay. Do we have an idea of how much that would be? Do you guys have, I'm assuming, Mr. Wiley, you're working with Mr. Vance. So either or could answer this question. Do we have like an idea of how much money we would like to spend? Do you guys have like a proposal for us?
I didn't even have a proposal for spend. I just wanted to. I thought we just needed to have a discussion because I knew there were so many variables in place before I even took the time to research what that cost would be.
Well, I can tell you.
I'm sorry, I order these from my company all the time. Business cards are very inexpensive.
Yeah,
They would
that's right.
absolutely give us the credibility and everything that we need. It's not a huge expense.
An option.
Okay. Well, I'm just,
that,
if we're gonna allocate funds, I just want to make sure we have a motion that gives us an idea, ballpark figure.
50.
Okay.
The other thing is that there's also digital business cards that we could do that I think may be easier to just streamline and use and keep our costs lower. I think that'd be a good idea. More customizability ongoingly, etc.
What we could do is we could take this to an email ballot. It's not gonna be a huge amount of money. It's gonna be like 50 to $100, I'm guessing. From what I'm hearing, I don't buy business cards, so I really don't know. But I'm gonna trust Ms. Steinke on that. So I think we could do a little bit more research into it and then just allocate funds via email ballot. How does that sound?
Madam Chair, I've got the numbers, and 50 would more than cover in even 200 and business cards. And I think this is something that I have a proxy, so if you don't mind, I'd like to move.
That's true. All right, go ahead, move.
If you don't mind. For $50 for business cards for our esteemed treasurer and legislative director.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. We have a second. Is there any further discussion? Is there any objection?
Is there any, maybe we just don't have the details, but could we add digital ones onto that for basically for free, or?
Yeah, I think they can be for free, and then maybe
Neither one of you guys are recognized.
there may be some subscription ones that are upgrades that are worth it, but there's probably at least free ones you could use. Worst case, the
Also,
creation of free
please
ones-
wait to be recognized before speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
I apologize. I do have a comment / question.
Yes, and then we got it. So, yeah, just allocating the funds, I think we'll be able to do both. I'm gonna how about Ross, Jim, and Michael Vance work together to figure out the types of business cards. But we do have the motion. Is there discussion on the amount allocated? I should clarify. Is there any objection? Yes, Mr. Metler?
Oh, I was just going to say, ballpark I heard recently was under $2 a piece, or maybe it was under $1 a piece. If that gives you any idea.
There's a motion. Jim, did you motion? Mr. Wiley, did you motion for $50?
Yes.
All right. Also, Mr. Metler, I only recognize board members during board meetings just to keep my meetings within bounds. But I do appreciate your feedback. And I will have you work with them to get the best combination of cards we can going forward. Is there any objection to spending $50 on 2 sets of business cards for Mr. Buss and Mr. Vance? Hearing none, that motion passes. And I'll assign that to Jim, Ross, and Mr. Vance, or Mr. Metler and Mr. Vance and Mr. Wiley. See, when you guys get me scattered, I start losing my my formality. So moving on to the second item on the agenda is 13.2, Audit Committee Information Handoff. So it's my understanding that Mr. Buss needs to hand off treasurer information, well, the account information for the treasurer to the audit committee so that they can get a report compiled for convention. So the motion we need to make in order to get this done is that we need to direct the treasurer to hand over the financial logins to the audit committee. Would anyone move that for me?
I'll move that.
Mr. Buss
Second.
has moved and Mr. Wiley has seconded. The board shall direct the treasurer to hand over the financial logins to the audit committee. Is there any objection? Hearing none, that motion passes. Next order is 13.3, FEC login information. So this is going to tie up the FEC issues that we're having, and I'm just going to recap that really quickly to make sure we have this all correct. So this is more of a question discussion for Mr. Buss. So you need so if you had the login information for the FEC, essentially you would then be able to set yourself up as the treasurer and then be able to amend and file reports, correct?
100%.
Okay. And you've struggled over the past a long time, at least year, to get the FEC login information from Mr. James Williams, correct?
Well, I haven't been treasurer for a year, so that's not strictly true. That's not strictly true. But in the reality, James is like, these are personal. They're my personal credentials for the FEC. And when you phone up the FEC, they will not issue new credentials until the person who has the credentials adds you onto the list and then resigns himself from the list. So what we've been doing to get the filings done is James has been doing the filings using some information that we had, but it appears we can't actually take a look at the filings and we can't do anything with them. So James may be misunderstanding something that needs to be done, but in the reality, it would be safer for all of us if, you know, the person who's supposedly responsible for the action is actually in charge of the action. You know?
Yes. Also, he's opening himself up for personal liability for misfiling. So the motion that I think needs to be made here to resolve this, or at least get a fire lit to get it resolved and put in the proper order, would be for the board to direct the membership director to submit the login information for the FEC credentials via the party email system to the current treasurer to update the reporting. Would anyone move that?
I would certainly do that.
I'm happy to do that too, Ashley. Whatever you want.
Okay. So Mr. Buss has moved that the board shall direct the membership director to submit the login to the FEC credentials via the party email system to the current treasurer so we can update reporting. And Mr. Lurie, will you second?
I second that.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion from board members? No? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Also,
but I also would like on the record, because it all sounds very negative, that James has filed.
Yes.
And that lot, so he hasn't been leaving us in this dangerous situation. But anyone, well, we all know that dealing with the federal government can be dealing with a 2-year-old toddler, right? So, and you know, and you get these very strange things of you've done this wrong, but there's no idea of how to fix it. So I'm just trying to lay the course that James hasn't flung us out with the baby with the bathwater. He's actually been trying to file, you know.
Yes, and I just want to make sure that we get this transition completed, because it's drug on. I'm just thinking it's just drug on long enough, so
right.
It's better and for everyone, and opening James himself, Mr. Williams, up for his for any action through the FEC, because he hasn't been able to get you on the account. Like, I'm just trying to cover, and also cover the board from any investigation that we've made on the record to try and get the proper handoff of these credentials. I think it's just a way of us protecting ourselves, and as well as protecting him from opening himself up for personal liability, because he's not the treasurer. So it needs to be in the hands of the treasurer. It's no harm, no foul. I mean, he was the treasurer, but he's not now.
Right.
So we just really desperately need this information transitioned. And it's just gone on long enough. We kind of just I got to put my foot down. And I really just want to make sure we're covering all our bases with it. But yeah, no negativity, or, he's a member of the board. So it's not like he's just some random guy or something like that. That would be even worse. I'm glad we're not there. So is there any objection to the board directing the membership director? Hearing none, that passes. So with that, all of our business is now concluded. I'm going to open up for announcements and opportunities for public comment. I will make an announcement that initially we called a platform and bylaws committee, and I had Mr. Aiken send out invitations for those committees to get established, meet, us to pick a chair for those committees and have them start working on bylaws and platform changes. But actually, according to the bylaws, we actually blew our bylaws and platform committee notice, because it says they were supposed to be called 60 days after the adjournment of the last convention, which to me, I mean, I missed that just because I didn't think a committee would meet for like a year and a half. I guess I was wrong. I know that there is, some libertarians who adore bylaws and all these things. But I just missed that notice. And so with that, we have to fall onto in the bylaws, per Article XV, Sections A and B, amendments to the bylaws or platform in odd number of years require either such committee reports or written notice of the amendments' formal language. So members will be able to submit their bylaws and platform committee reports It needs to be signed by 2 sustaining members and submitted to the board at least 30 days prior to the convention. And then that we'll post it to the party's website within 2 business days of receiving those bylaws and platform amendments. So if you would like to see, basically the bylaws and platform committees are null and void because they weren't called within 60 days of the even year annual convention. We're having to rely on this second section. And so if 2 members come together to submit a bylaws changes or platform changes, they will be emailed to the board, and then we will publish those within 2 days of receiving them to our website for the sustaining members coming to convention to consider, and then they'll be voted on at our convention. So I apologize for the error of missing that within 60 days after the even year annual convention, appointing those committees. Who knew people wanted to meet for a year and a half on bylaws? I sure didn't. I should have, though. So that is definitely my error, and I definitely apologize. We have sent out notice via email. We've added it to the call to convention on the website. And then also our sustaining membership should be receiving their postcards any day now. If there's any questions, please feel free to email me at hannah.goodman@lpcolorado.org. I'm not sure, Jim may have to tell you the board email because there's one that works and one that doesn't work. And I always just put both because I don't know which is which. Jim, what's the board email, Mr. Wiley?
I'm sorry, say that again, Hannah.
The board email is lpcoboard@lpcolorado.org.
Thank you. lpcoboard@lpcolorado.org. It used to be board@lpcolorado.org, but it's changed. So I knew there was one that worked and didn't work. I'm not really sure why we have the other one if it doesn't work, but here we are. So with that, I'll open the floor up for any other further announcements or public comment.
I've got a public comment.
Yes, Mr. Wiley.
Thanks for the recognition. I didn't want to bring this up during the main part of the board meeting in the capacity of my proxy because this actually is something I want to represent my personal capacity, not as a proxy to Mr. Ben Williams. In my personal capacity, though, I would call on the Libertarian Party of Colorado to censure Mr. Wiley for allegedly calling members of the Libertarian Party retards. And it's my position that he might claim that he was referring just to Mr. Jeremy Coffin as a retard or members of the Chainsaw at Large as a retard, but it's my perception that he meant the Libertarian Party of Colorado specifically is retarded, and so it's my position, and I would request that the board of the Libertarian Party of Colorado move to censure Mr. Wiley for that description of libertarians, specifically those who are participants within the active Libertarian Party of Colorado and also members of the leadership and board. As somebody who suffers from a learning disability, I find this extremely offensive, and he needs to be made an example of.
I second.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've closed business, so that wasn't added to the agenda. I was really confused there for a moment. What is wrong with you? I'm
This is a professional board. We have no time for faking gay business like that. Please.
Yeah, that was retarded.
Yeah, sorry. As someone that lives with a traumatic brain injury, that was a really faggy comment.
We are so bad, baby. You guys don't go report us to the Denver Post.
Whatever will we do with Mr. Wiley? Oh no.
Elect him chair.
Oh, I did have something to.
Okay.
Yeah, Phil, yes.
I just got hired by Young Americans for Liberty as the Western Deputy Regional Director. So I will be out traveling the West. So if anybody knows LPs out there that would like to get involved or want to make more chainsaw-ish libertarian parties across the country, because most of them are gay and retarded. So.
He's gonna be based in Salt Lake. There's a chance I join that, and we definitely want to start chainsawing, everyone else in the LP, chainsaw the whole thing. So hopefully we can start spreading that, working on expanding our movement.
Heck yeah, that's what I like to hear. That's very exciting. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll have to get you in touch with the based libertarians out in the West like us. I don't know that there's a lot, but we can find you some.
Probably primarily in like Seattle and Portland.
Oh, no.
Great.
All right. Well, if there's no further public comment, we are adjourned, guys. Our next board meeting will be the second Monday of May at 7 p.m. at the Independence Institute with an online option. So, and with that, we are now adjourned. Have a good evening, you hooligans.
Good evening.
See you guys. Reason is trash.
Yes.